Hello and welcome to this overview video of NetDispatcher. My name is Jonathan and today I am going to be going through the process of creating a sales project and running it all the way through to an invoice while showing you some of the newer features that we have in the latest version of NetDispatcher. So to give you an idea, NetDispatcher is the most intuitive service scheduling software that is designed to keep your business simple, easy, and worry-free. We can reduce your costs and increase profits by up to 20%. Simple and easy to use field service platform, and you'll never want to go back to pen and paper again because everything is going to be conveniently located right here in your program. So go ahead and check out our website at go.netdispatcher.com. Go to the contact section and get in touch with us and schedule a live demonstration from one of our team members. So let's get to it with the software. So this is the home page after you log in with NetDispatcher. As you can see, if you had the previous version, really not too many differences as you can see from the home screen. However, when you start diving into the sections, you will start to notice that things have changed a lot for the better, as it's making it easier for you and your employees to operate the software. So like I said, we're going to be going through the process of creating a lead, running it through an estimate into a work order, dispatching that job out to a worker while looking on the mobile device as well, and then we'll go ahead and invoice. And like I said, I'll be able to show you some other highlights in this software. So let's go ahead and get started by going into the lead section. Now for the user that is going into the lead section, they're going to be looking at this, and this is essentially their profile. You can see the statuses that they have of all their current sales projects that are going on, whether they're in the lead, the calling, meeting, offer, or deal section. And then conveniently located below that, they will see the entire list of sales projects that they currently have and have had. Below that, the user can set any sort of sales targets, either weekly, monthly, quarterly, or yearly. So let's go ahead, and if you wanted to create a new lead, all you would have to do is click the green icon with the light, but we'll go ahead and open up an existing one right now and just go ahead and add on to it currently. So from the list, you would click on the name of the sales project if you would like to open it, or like I said, to start a new one, you click on the green icon with the light. So we're going to add a new customer named Mike Smith. Well, as you can see, it is searching for a Mike Smith in the system, but it is having no luck pulling one up because we do not currently have one. So instead of having to go all the way back to the customer section itself to create a new customer, all you would have to do is click on the plus box to the right side. And then from here you would select which customer form you would like to use to build this new one. So we're going to do commercial customer, click continue. And this will bring up the customer card for you to enter in all the customer details. And do not worry, if you can't fill out all this information now, that is okay. You can do so later on by accessing the customer section, or as you're moving through the entire process from the leads to the invoicing, these fields should be on the templates for you to add this information. So let's say that's the basic information for now. We'll go ahead and save this customer card. After we do so, you will see it is going to auto-populate all of the fields that we just filled out. And it will continue to do that as long as Mike Smith is a customer in the system. So we will go ahead and give this project a name, leave it as active, and this field will auto-populate with the user that is currently creating the sales project. And we'll create a product description. So we'll go ahead and hit save and close. And when you hit save and close, it takes you back to the user profile. And everything will adjust, whether it's a status or any sort of sales targets, depending on the status of the project. So let's say we want to go ahead and create an estimate for Mike Smith. We'll just go ahead and click on the project to open it back up. And if we go down to the bottom to where the save and close button was, we could hit create estimate. When we hit create estimate, it's going to ask us to select a form. So we will go ahead and click on the estimate we want to use to create for Mr. Mike Smith. And once again, it's going to auto-populate all of the fields that we already have for Mike Smith, such as the name, billing, and site address. So on the estimate, we will go ahead and put in some job details. After that, we scroll down and you see that there is a materials section. You can add as many materials to this as you would like. Also, we do have customer specific materials, meaning that on the customer card you could have this materials section and specific pricing for certain services or items that pertain to that customer. So say if we were to create another estimate for Mike Smith in the future and he has a few materials on his customer card, whenever we create this estimate and we select his name after searching it in the customer name box, it will auto-populate this materials list with the items that are on his customer card. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and manually enter it in so that you can see how it works. So we type in mowing and it's going to give us a list of items that matches with that. So we'll go ahead and select the first one and it will auto-populate all of the fields for that material and give us a new balance. So we will go ahead and hit save and close, or if you hit the arrow you could hit save and send. When you hit save and send, that will ask you for an email address you would like to send out this estimate to and any sort of message that you would like to attach. And when the customer receives it, he will see that message and he will also have this estimate in a PDF file. So we will go ahead and hit save and close, and this will take us back to the sales project. So let's say that the estimate is good to go and Mike Smith gave it approval. So we'll go back into the edit estimate here in the sales project, or if you were out of this section, you would be able to access it by clicking on the estimate tab at the top, because this is now in the list for the estimate. So we'll go ahead and click the blue arrow again. As you can see, we have a few more options that pop up this time as far as process into a work order. We can mark this as lost, meaning that this project is now done and no longer have to worry about it. You could hit when in process and once again save and send. We will hit when in process. And it's going to ask us if we want to turn it into a single job, service agreement, and what template we would like to use. Well, we are going to use a lawn care maintenance because we selected the mowing service. We will click continue. This is going to open up the work order. And as you can see, Mike Smith comes over, but we don't have all of the fields up here because at the time we just don't see that they are necessary for this work order. So service type, we'll go ahead and select lawn care maintenance. We'll assign this to Bo Underwood. Start by time. You can just click the calendar icon to the right, select the date and the time, and then do the same for the complete by. Alrighty. And now with the job status, if you are wanting to send this out immediately so that the field technician will see this on their mobile device, you need to be sure to change the job status from open to sent. And once again, the mowing comes over from the estimate. And then if there are any specific job instructions for the worker, he will see it on his mobile device. And then you can also attach an asset being either a property or a piece of equipment that you want attached to this customer. You can attach as many assets as you like to a customer, and we can put as many as we want on a work order. So we will go ahead and just create a quick property name. And if there were any specific details for that property, if the asset was already created, all of this would automatically populate. But currently we will go ahead and put it in ourselves. And after we are finished, once we hit save, because we have the job status at sent, this job will be sent to the field worker's mobile device and their dispatch board. So we will click save. This will take us back to the estimate, and we can hit save and close again. Save and close on the project. So like I said, the estimate will show up on the list now, and then when we go to the jobs section, we can see that there is a job now for Mike Smith. So if we were on the desktop version and we dispatch that out, we can now look on our scheduling board or dispatch board and see that a job has been dispatched out. As we can see here for Bo Underwood, the job has been scheduled out. Now this view is completely customizable. Right now we have the scheduler up, however we can change it. So let's say we want to have a bit of a different layout. Let's go with one of the most popular ones. Alright, and then we could change each one of these little squares. So let's say we want to keep this scheduler right here in the top left. We could change this bottom one by clicking the gear icon and selecting planner. And then if you had GPS services, you could look at the map here to the right. You have the ability to filter by day, week, month, or custom, and you can just set the appropriate dates. You could filter based off of job statuses, service lines, and resources. So let's go ahead and see how it looks on the mobile version on Bo's mobile device. So when Bo's getting on his phone, he opens up the Net Dispatcher app. This is what he's going to see. He will go ahead and click on the jobs, and on the dispatch board on his mobile device, he will have a new job for Mike Smith, as we could see here. And if you just click the arrow, you can check out the details for this job. So as we can see from here, we got a lawn care maintenance job for Mike Smith at Smith Property at 123 Main Street, Spring. So Bo can continue to scroll down to see any more details pertaining to this job. He could look at customer details, property details, and he could even add more materials if need be. So whenever he is ready to go, all he has to do is click the start button, And if we go back to the desktop version and we look at our dispatch board, you will see that the color changes, showing that the job is now in progress. Now let's say Bo's back on his phone and he needs to make some notes. So what he could do is click on the actions, edit, and if there was a specific field where the field technician was supposed to report back with any notes, this is where they would do it. And be sure to click save. And the job has now been saved. Now, what we can do, let's say Bo finishes his job, all he has to do is go back to his mobile device, click complete, go back to the desktop view, and you will see that the job now illuminates green, signifying the job has been completed. Alright, so let's say now we're ready to invoice this job for Mike Smith. So what we would do is go back into our jobs, and we could generate invoices a few different ways. So let's say we had a few completed jobs in this list and you wanted to batch invoices. Batching is merely grabbing a handful of invoices and sending them all out at the same time. So we could do the same thing here from the job section, but because we only have the one, we will go ahead and open it up. And you could go down to the very bottom and click on Create Invoice. Once again, it will open up the template for your invoice, and it will auto-populate all of the fields that you have pertaining to Mike Smith. And we can see that the mowing information, the materials, and the lawn care maintenance has been added into the materials list. So we can go ahead and put any notes. And any other adjustments we need. And much like the estimate section, you have the same option here with the arrow on the blue button. You can save and close or save and send. Once again, save and send, all you would have to do is input the customer email if it is not there already, add a little message, and it will send it out in a PDF format to the customer. So we will go ahead and hit save and close. And we have just completed the entire process of creating a sales project and working it all the way through invoicing. So let's go back to our estimate section. So one of the newer features here in Net Dispatcher is our reporting. It's a lot different than the previous version, as we're now capable of performing a lot more tasks, being a lot more detailed, and a lot more efficient with the reports that we could put in the system. So I'm going to show you a basic report that I created for this demo account, just to give you kind of an idea. And the great thing is you can have multiple reports under each section. So under the estimate, the jobs, invoicing, each section you can have as many reports. So let's say you have regular estimates, you have some sort of contracts or proposals. We could have them all under here on the estimate. And whenever you click the open and reporting, a dialog box will come up asking you to select which report you want to use. However, we're just using the basic estimate one. As you see, the information transfers over from the estimate. And the same will happen in the invoicing section. Whenever we access the invoice for Mike Smith, we can open in reporting, and once again we will get our invoice. And this is just a basic layout. However, we could get extremely detailed and complex with these if we would like, and we can also put a lot more features on here besides just text and tables. We could put pictures, we could put charts, whether they're bar graphs, line charts, pie charts, anything of that nature. We could all put it in here. So another feature I want to touch up on is the ability to edit forms. So one of the features that we worked on in this newer version is the ability to create new forms. So you could have multiple estimate forms, you could have multiple job forms, such as for a landscaping company you could have a specific form for lawn care maintenance, irrigation, anything, snow and ice removal if you guys do winter services. And then invoicing, you can have multiple forms as well. And to access any of these forms, you would just click on the tab you want to go edit or create a new form. Click on the gear icon in the right corner, edit forms. And you can either edit by clicking on one of the items from the list or click add new. But we will just go ahead and click on the lawn care maintenance that we worked on. And this will bring you the editor for our forms. Great thing about our editor is the ability to create detailed and easy to look at forms now. And also with every one of these fields you have the ability to drag and drop wherever you wish for it to go. And then you can create new fields, or you can add from the list that we have over here. And this list will feature every field that is currently in your program. So let's say we created a field in the estimate. Well, when we come here to the job, we'll be able to see the estimate field here on the job, and we could put it on this template if we wanted to. So we'll go ahead and click save. Just make sure we didn't change anything. So now we're going to go into the maintain section, otherwise known as settings. This is where you can find all your information regarding customers, contacts, assets, materials, pricing, automation, user information, and things of that nature. So with the customers and assets, it's pretty simple. It's much like those Rolodexes back in the day that you could add customer information onto and just flip your fingers through. However, with us, we have a database for your customers. You can manually enter in these customers, or you can import a Excel or CSV file by clicking on this icon here and following the appropriate steps. Once again, like the estimate, jobs, and invoices, this customer card is completely customizable. You could put fields anywhere you like. You could add, delete, anything of that nature. And once again, the materials is here on the customer card so that we could have specific pricing for materials for customers. We'll go back. And then, like I said, there's the asset section, assets being properties, pieces of equipment, or units that are going to be attached to a customer. So let's say, for example, we have a customer of Mike Smith, and he has multiple properties, let's say 5 properties. We could all attach those properties to him by merely entering his name in the customer name field. And once we select from the drop-down list, that will pair and link that customer with that asset and vice versa. You can have all of your materials listed in here. Once again, much like the customer section, it's all laid out for you nice and neat. You can add new, or you can import a Excel or CSV file. And once again, you have the ability to edit the form for the materials card. One of our newer features is bundling. So what bundling is you create a new bundle that will have a multiple amount of materials. Now let's say that you have special packages. You could create this bundle, call it bundle number 1, and you could put all the different materials or services underneath this bundle, so that whenever you're creating an estimate, job, or invoicing, you can attach that bundle, which then automatically attaches all those materials, so you do not have to do each material one by one. Services, you could have specific service pricing in here. On the job template, there was a field called service type, and this is what it relates back to. You create new services, and you can edit these details by selecting when they will be running through or when they will be active, any sort of notes, and you can change the rate type. Now you could have a simple fixed rate, which means that no matter how long they're on the job, no matter how many people are there, it's going to be a flat rate of $50. Or you can change it to hourly rate. And this opens up a few more features. And you could have the rate of $50 an hour. And if you don't hit that hour, you could have a minimum charge. So we could set that as $20. So that means even if the team is on the job site for a mere 5 minutes, then they would still be able to charge the customer $20. You could have rounding methods, rounding increments, and then round based off of value or time. Go ahead and click Save. Automation. So service agreements are something that set us apart from a lot of our competition. So service agreements is a way to automate a series of jobs. So what I mean by that, we can go ahead and access one of these service agreements right here. Now service agreements are pretty much just like the contracts you have set up with your landscaping, whether it's for the summer or the fall. It's just an easy way for you to input all of the information in here, and it creates all of the jobs for you. So let me give you an idea of how this service agreement works. We'll go ahead and create a new one for Mike Smith. Click Add New. Enter in Mike Smith. We'll say the contract start date was on the 1st of this year. And we'll say it ends the last day of this year. Let's go here. So once we have all of that taken care of, we go ahead and start adding the new rules. So let's say for Mike Smith and his contract, he has a few items. So the first rule we'll have is mowing. We could go in, edit the details, select the appropriate job template, service, resource. So we'll go ahead and select Bo Underwood again. Job source, pretty much where it's going to be looking for this information. Now the criteria, this is where some people get a little bit confused. However, it is actually really easy. So right now, since we're doing a contract specifically for Mike Smith, all we need to do is make criteria that pulls exactly who we're looking for, Mike Smith. So all we would have to do is customer name is, and type in the name. If you were wanting to say you didn't know how to spell his name properly, you could do contains, and it will give you suggestions based off of that. You could add multiple pieces of criteria, and you can have these criteria for anything. So mostly for landscaping companies, when they're doing their winter services, a lot of them like to have triggers based off of a certain amount of snow or ice accumulation. And on the customer cards, you could have a trigger that's set, and you could pull that criteria through here so that any customers that have a specific trigger, you could pull them all in here and create work orders for them by following this easy, simple, and efficient process. So we will click refresh, and it pulls up our results, and there's Mike Smith. So we'll go ahead and move to the time-based section, and let's say he wants to get a weekly mow done. And it's going to repeat every 3 weeks. It's going to start on Monday. And then we can put in the contract end date. Let's go ahead and switch monthly so that it doesn't take as long to generate all of this. So we're going to say it's going to repeat once monthly. We'll go ahead and click next. Now it's going to as you can see, it gives us a preview of all the jobs that it's going to be creating for Mike Smith based off of the information we put in. So we could go ahead and click ready. Now if you wanted to continue adding more rules, say you had something for trimming, edging, irrigation services, you could put that all in here. And whenever you're ready to go, whenever you're ready to generate all those jobs, you click generate results. Run the service agreement now. Yes. Save just in case. And when you go back to your jobs list, you will see that the service agreement jobs that we just created are showing up. So service agreements are a great way to build a plethora of work orders without having to do each one manually. Just by setting up a few items based off of criteria and setting some time details, you have the ability to create hundreds, if not thousands, of jobs. Go back to the maintain section, and you have the ability, if you're admin, you have the ability to edit user information. You could also grant specific access to groups of users. So let's say maybe you had a sales team. Well, the sales team, you only want them to see the leads and estimate section. All you would have to do is go into the user access management, and you could go in and select which group you want to change, and you can give them certain rights. And all you have to do is just click save. Alrighty. Well, that concludes our overview video. Once again, my name is Jonathan, and I was showing you the newest version of NetDispatcher. Be sure to check out our website at go.netdispatcher.com. On there you can find more information regarding the software. You can find training information under the Academy section, and you can contact us if you would like to schedule a live demonstration of this software. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.